Moroccan lamb patties. These I make for my clients frequently. They are beloved. They are a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy, quite exotic. And they have all these gorgeous fresh ingredients that I've laid out. We will be putting, of course, the main ingredient is the lamb. Then we will be using paprika. We'll be using cinnamon. We'll be using oregano, dried. Here I have the superpowered twin duo of cumin and coriander. We've got red pepper flakes to add a little kick, Himalayan sea salt, pink sea salt, ground pepper in our lovely little Moroccan, I don't know what these are called, Moroccan things. Gorgeous scallions from our local food co-op. They're local and they're organic. New York, we have beautiful, fragrant, fresh cilantro. There is raw honey that I actually purchased last weekend in upstate New York. Gorgeous red onion, garlic, one farm fresh, what's it called? Eggs. A really good organic farm fresh egg, more Himalayan sea salt, we probably won't be using that, and organic olive oil to cook the patties in, though we will only need a little bit because the lamb is by its very nature quite fatty. So in a moment I'm going to chop these all up, prepare all the ingredients, and I will show you that in a minute. Okay, so first you're going to chop the scallions, green onions, really simple. Very delicately in slender slices. We're gonna go for, I'm just gonna keep chopping until I get a sense for what it feels like, then we'll tell you how much that is. This is the way I know how to cook, by feel more so than by measurement, but I know that's not the case for everyone. I think that's about right. So that's looking like it's about, a third of a cup of scallions, maybe a half to a third. See how beautiful they are? And those I'm going to put to the side, like so. Okay, so I have about this much cilantro. I'm going to chop it really, really fine. Now keep in mind, some of it's going to be set to the side for the drizzle sauce that's going to go on at the end of this whole production. It's going to be a honey, coriander, dried coriander, tamari, cilantro sauce that will be drizzled all over the lamb. Oh yeah. So chop, 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 chop. Be sure to, I don't know, sing, laugh, play, make it an enjoying experience, even a meditative experience. I love kind of going into the zone when I cook. It's a place where I can kind of still my mind and get into a quiet space. As well as a focused place, because goodness knows this is a sharp knife and you would not want to cut yourself. Sure. This is looking pretty good, nice, finely minced, but not too fine. About like that. So now I'm going to set these aside in bowls until we are ready to incorporate them into the lamb patties. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop the red onion, cutting off both ends. And then I'm going to cut it down the center as such. Peel off the outer layer, get that garlic out of the way. We don't need you yet, garlic. Love you, we don't need you yet. And then we're going to take the coating off this one, set that to the side, and do some really beautiful delicate slices, thin slices to start. And Exactly, so cutting into these beautiful slender slices of this really lovely little red onion. And the idea is with this, because it's 1 pound of lamb, probably, I may not even use this entire onion, but because it's a small one, we'll see how it cooks, because I'm actually going to fry these on the stove and get them nice and browned. And what you're going to do is just make these really small, almost minced, but not quite, slices as such. Beautiful little delicate cubes, and we'll do it like this too. And sing as you go. Voila. So you have a beautiful onion, and in a moment I will chop the garlic as well. Light it up. Get the stove going. This is a really good quality Le Creuset pan, and we're going to put some, oops, that was a bit much. It should be about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and we then, I'm going to let that heat up for a second. Okay, then add your onions to the pan, let them sizzle, sizzle, pop, pop, fry, fry. And being sure to give them a good stir. And we're also going to take our Himalayan sea salt and do a couple Himalayan pink salt and do a little pinches of it in the onions to help sweat them off. And give it a good stir. Now we'll start it off on a high heat to get it good and going and strong, but then we'll turn it down a little bit. And what I like to do is I like to get the onions past the point of translucent, almost caramelized but not quite. I like them brown. I like the richness and the sugariness that comes when they're brown. I think it gives it so much more flavor and so much more depth to their flavor. And here we have sizzle, sizzle, steamy, pop, pop, blue flame, orange pan. Beautiful onions, red onions on their way to becoming quite brown and tender and delicious to add to the Moroccan lamb patty. Okay, so while the onions are sizzling, popping, and getting all yummy, it smells so good in here. If I could transfer that smell through the camera, I would. What I'm going to do is I took 2 cloves of garlic. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all. I'm going to have to feel that out, but we'll start with 2. And what I just did is smashed them, and that makes it that much easier to get the peel off. And what we're going to do is we will cut off the kind of rough edge of the garlic, and we're going to slice it thin again, and then mince, 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 mince. As such. And of course we know garlic is by its very nature an aphrodisiac. And in fact, many of the ingredients that go into these Moroccan lamb burgers are aphrodisiacs. The honey, the cinnamon, the red hot chili flakes, the garlic. I would say even the lamb itself gives a fire to the blood, and yeah, we'll get your juices flowing, so to speak. And this is the kind of style of cooking I like to do. Lover style. Okay, so with everything chopped and prepared and your onions gorgeously browned, right at the end you're going to add your minced garlic for about 30 seconds to a minute, just until the fragrance is released. And as well, you're going to add your prepared scallions, and in the time that the garlic releases its fragrance, these scallions should be gently wilted. You don't want them like too browned, just a little bit wilted to release their flavor as well. Giving it a good stir. And here at this point, can also add a pinch of the red pepper flakes. And let's do 2 pinches of the red pepper flakes. And how about a 3rd pinch of red pepper flakes? I am in a spicy kind of mood. So yeah, giving it all a stir. The beautiful fragrances being released into the kitchen. People will be coming from miles. People will be coming from miles. Just by the smell. Yes, Indeed. Giving it a good, healthy stir. We definitely want to watch the garlic, make sure it does not get burnt, but just gently golden. And voila! Finished! Yummy, yummy, yummy. Once again, I wish I could translate this scent straight to your kitchen, but I guess you'll have to do it for yourself. Okay, now comes the fun part. This is where we get to incorporate all the ingredients. I will begin with the egg. We're going to crack it into the lamb. Lamb, say hello to chicken. One thing I like to kind of express after many trials and explorations of my own diet, including being vegan, including being raw foodist, including being a vegetarian since I was 9 years old, through all of it, my own body's wisdom has come to discover that animal protein is the healthiest, keeps me the most balanced, the most vital, strongest. I'm probably a type, what is it, O or something? Anyhow, I know many of my friends are the same way as well. So it's always a good way to just keep in mind that yes, this animal was killed on the behalf of both our nourishment and our pleasure when food is prepared as such. So just taking note that not to take it for granted that there was a life that was lost and giving great thanks. I do that as much as I remember to when I ingest meat, given that I am a meat-eating person. Okay, so onward from that, we are going to take a very heavy Le Creuset pan, and very hot, and we're going to take this gorgeous onion, scallion, garlic, red pepper, and Himalayan pink salt mix, and we're going to put it in there. Sorry, you can't really see, can you? There we go. Yahoo! Okay, and this is where it gets really fun, because this is where all the spices come in. We'll start with the cilantro that we began with. Cilantro is one of the healthiest foods on the planet. It is great for heavy metal detox. It is great for general chlorophyll intake. It's really good for blood sugar, as is its relative, the coriander seed. Did you know coriander seed is the seed of the cilantro plant? And that's what's in this beautiful little blue lotus cup. Now, as you can see, I'm using my fingertips. I'm not using spoons. I'm not using no measurement, nothing, because that's not my style. However, in the recipe beneath the video, there will be specific measurements for you, because I know not everyone cooks this way. I've been cooking for 20 years now, so it's done by pure intuition and feeling more than specificities of measurements. So judging, I want to go heavy on the coriander because I feel, well, one, it's a major Moroccan spice, and there's something about it's mild at the same time that it kind of has a bitterness and a sweetness all at once. It's a very complex spice. So I'm gonna go coriander heavy on this recipe. I think I put probably about a teaspoon just then. And then we're gonna go cumin. I'm gonna go a little less. Cumin is so amazing. It's almost lemony, and again has a bitterness to it and a freshness. It's like this golden freshness. Actually, it reminds me a little bit of coriander and cilantro. So here we go. This is going to be about 1/2 teaspoon. Now, I did put Himalayan pink salt, and of course you're welcome to use any salt. This is just the preference. It's one of the healthiest salts on the planet. For goodness sake, it's from the Himalayan mountains. I don't know how much more healthy and densely mineralistic anything could be. Comes from those mountains. Sea salt would be my second preference. There's all kinds of amazing sea salts from all over the world. I actually happen to have one from Baja for my recent trip that I love to use. And it's fun because each salt has a very different character, a very different flavor, and a very different kind of resonance to it. So it's really fun to explore your sea salts if you're into cooking, and your earth salts, as this case may be, which the Himalayans once upon an ancient time was under the sea. So, are you earth or are you sea salt? Okay, so I'm going to put some beautiful pinches of this pink salt in here. There we go. And the next step is good old-fashioned black pepper, ground black pepper. Freshly ground is great, but because I have these beautiful little accoutrements, I'm going to go with this. And that was about 4 pinches. We already did the red pepper, so I'll skip that. Here we have paprika. Yeah, paprika, pungent, bold. It's almost like, it reminds me of like what are they called? The Spanish bull, the Spanish bull guys, what the heck are they called? Anyways, it has a certain robust, bold, red, gorgeous character to it that I think is wonderful to add to any savory dish. And then cinnamon. Oh, cinnamon. Cinnamon for life. I put cinnamon in everything if I can. It is good, once again, for blood sugar levels. I'm clutching it to my heart because it just feels like heart food. Now, I'm not going to go heavy on it because I don't want it to be a strong cinnamon flavor, but putting a subtle amount of cinnamon in savory dishes, one, gives it kind of a mystique, that mysterious ingredient that you're like, what is it? That balances it, it grounds it, it sweetens it, it spices it, and it just gives that warm, nourishing quality that I think only cinnamon can do. So I'm gonna put a few, just basically like a pinch. I wouldn't even call that an eighth. Maybe it's an eighth of a teaspoon. Then we're gonna take, in addition to the fresh cilantro herb, we're gonna go with oregano. This one has not yet been opened. And we're gonna go for about a half a teaspoon of oregano, and that's going to be really beautifully incorporated into the egg mixture. I'm going to go out on the limb a little bit. I don't know if Moroccans ever did cook with tamari, but here we go. I'm a Californian. We do hybrid foods for sure. So this is tamari. Tamari is a great gluten-free soy sauce, so those with gluten issues go tamari. I also prefer tamari to soy sauce because it's richer and it has more depth. Yeah, I think it's a better of the sauces. So I'm just gonna just do a few little drizzles in it. It's gonna give it another ground note in addition to the pepper and the cinnamon, a little bit more depth. And I think I'm always looking for depth in life, so I'm gonna look for it in my Moroccan lamb patties as well. I hope you will too. And then here we go. This is that raw honey from upstate. Watch it. Just watch it pour. Oh yeah, baby. Now I don't want to go crazy because I'm going to make the sweet sauce for it as well. I think that was about, well, I think it was a little more than a tablespoon. We should probably stick with about a tablespoon. But yeah, about a tablespoon of honey to go in there. And we're going to mix it up, but first I'm going to show you. Oh yes, indeed. And then we are going to stir all the ingredients up until it is this beautifully incorporated creation of all these spices, that amazing lamb. Now, one thing I didn't mention is you can, for gluten people, you can put breadcrumbs in it. And there are gluten-free breadcrumbs as well. I decided to just go for straight lamb with the egg emulsifier. But yes, you can add it if you like a little bit more, that breadiness, a little bit more substance to it. And they might actually hold together a little bit better. But as it is, this is what we're doing. And we're getting, you can see all the colors are incorporating. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh my god. There we go. And voila! Okay, so then the next thing you're gonna do is you are going to form patties. They should be, you should form a ball that's about palm sized. You can also just think in terms of how much you want to eat. If you are more of like a quarter pounder or a half pounder or a whole pounder kind of burger person. but you can see they're about this size, my palm sized. And form them until you're done. Oh my god, these are gonna be so good. So with the size that I did, which are actually a little bigger than I usually do, it formed about 5 patties. So you can, I would say, anywhere between 4 to 6 patties this recipe will create. So I'm going to place each patty in, and the pan is very, very, very well heated already, ready for these guys. Everyone has a different preference with their meat. Some people like it more rare, some people like it medium rare, some people like it well done. So I'm a little bit in the medium kind of category. So I'm going to keep my eye on them, but roughly you're going to cook them from anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes per side. 5 minutes would be very, very well done. 3 minutes is probably about right. And I'm actually going to turn down my flame just a touch. Started out on high to get it going, but then you want to cook it on a good medium temperature. Okay, so that was a good 3 minutes. I'm going to flip them now. Oh yeah, they actually got a little bit brown, but that's okay. We like them brown. And you can see there's all this fat that's formed in the bottom of the pan. If for any reason it's not quite fatty, you can always add oil. And sometimes it depends on the meat, sometimes it depends on the pan. But the idea is that you're going to get these gorgeous little burgers. So while your burgers are cooking on the stove, you can quickly whip together the delicious sauciness that we're going to put on top of it. I saved a little bit of the cilantro. It's about a tablespoon, about a tablespoon and a half of the minced cilantro. Now, if you want to get really sexy, you can put mint in here as well. I didn't have any on hand. Came to me later, the idea, but you can definitely do that and it'll be super delicious. I'm going to take the tamari. Again, I'm doing it by eye, but you want to put about 2 tablespoons. And then once again, we're going to have our beautiful coriander. I'm doing a nice hearty pinch and a second lesser pinch, equaling probably about a 1/4 teaspoon. And then we're going to toss some honey in there again. And that's going to be about a tablespoon of honey. And then you want to stir them together. And I hope that you can see that. It creates this really gorgeous, kind of goldeny brown, really beautiful little sauce. I'm going to dip my pinky in it to taste. Oh yeah, that's right. And of course, you know, the honey is your choice. If you want it extra sweet, you can always put more honey. If you want spice, you can add cayenne or more of the red pepper flakes or a hot sauce. I got pretty excited with the red pepper flakes of this burger, so I'm not going to add any more spice to this. But what I'm going to do is at the very end of these cooking, which is right about now, I'm going to drizzle this all over the top. Come watch me. And voila, these have cooked about 3 minutes the first side, and then I think that was about 2 or 3 minutes the second side. They're definitely ready for the sauce. And the sauce is going to pick up any little brown bits from the bottom of the pan. And I'm just going to let that cook just for a moment. Let the sauce kind of cook through, let the lamb take that in. And then I'm going to turn it off. And guess what? The lamb is ready to serve. See what's coming next. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And here it is, the beautiful meal. I'm gonna go ahead and try a bite of this beautiful creation. Oh, it is so good. It is so bursting with flavor. Depth and richness, and the coriander just carries through like I hoped it would. It's extremely sexy. I've served it here with a salad with lemon squeeze, olive oil, a little herb goat cheese, some of these really special farm tomatoes, and then some red cabbage, sauerkraut, which is very good for digestion. But you can do this so romantically too. You can do a sweet potato mash or like cinnamon sweet potato fries. You can serve it with couscous, saffron couscous, or couscous pilaf with almonds or with raisins. You could also do that with quinoa if you were gluten-free and make it a quinoa pilaf. Be wonderful with a glass of wine, and be wonderful with candlelight. Highly recommend Moroccan music. Yeah, really, it can be a beautiful, just simple lunch meal like this, but you can also really go all the way to the nines. It is delicious. So, I hope that you will subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be Caitlin Aramore, YouTube. I'm going to be making many more videos. Dance it out. Belly dance it out. Oh my god. And enjoy. I hope it goes great. Leave me comments. If you cook it, let me know how it goes. I want to hear all about it. Okay. Mwah.